Hey, y'all. Hey, welcome to the PowerWomen podcast. This is the show where powerful women share their journeys, discuss how to solve powerful issues, and empower men who help us rise. I'm your host, Power Mom, Claire Brown. Hey, y'all. Hey, so I'm so excited to have my friends here today because it has been a long time coming for this conversation. Because you're doing so many amazing things to change the world. Literally, change the world, pun intended. So, Emily Wineland and Becky Pittman, please tell everyone who you are and what you're doing to change the world.
Becky, I yield to you.
Oh, Lord. Okay. I'm Becky Pittman. I am Emily Wineland's partner. And so I count that as a big part of what I'm doing to help change the world. But co-founder of Level Wins, and we've got two products out on the market right now, GoodChange and SmartChange, built essentially to help people raise more money faster, engage their smaller dollar donors, and then just build efficiencies in the fundraising process. So it's been really, really fun and amazing to work with Emily on this.
So Becky said, my change of the world is helping Emily. And I completely agree because I need all the help. I am the lesser half of GoodChange.
I think I said that. I think I said Emily. It the wrong way.
It's okay. No, Becky's amazing. It's so fun to actually work with an amazing human like Becky who just rolls up her sleeves and learns the stuff and gets things done. It's just so refreshing and amazing and wonderful. So GoodChange and SmartChange, like Becky said, we're just here to empower humans to be mission-minded and to fund the missions and causes they believe in. Mm-hmm. And it's been wonderful. 2 years, we're in 19 states.
Yeah.
Clients everywhere who we love and respect. And I love that the sole focus is the word, focus of our company is customer success. So really dig in deep with these groups that are mission-minded, help them find ways to succeed because so much in fundraising is focused on, I need $1 million now. I need all these rich people to join in. And it's really about, no, I need humans to care and I need humans to help grow. And that's where we are, and giving humans the ability to do what we used to do in analog at scale and digitally, which is how we started, is just such a blessing, and it's a dream come true. Yeah. So thank you for being here, Claire. You're amazing. Yay, PowerWomen.
Thank you. Well, we only succeed through others, which I think is exactly what y'all have shown and proven. And I truly believe that. So, it's my mission to leverage other women and their voices so that we can all learn, grow, and see past our limiting beliefs. And so there are no more glass ceilings. There are no ceilings at all. And that's the mission. So, you both spoke at a very high level of what you're doing, and I want to get down to a little bit more of the weeds of what that is and explain it to me as if I have no clue of what GoodChange or SmartChange is. And how does it work? What does it really do? Who's it for? Yeah. On both ends of it. There's the two who's.
So the short version of the story is Becky and I met because we were two of the only professional women fundraisers that we knew in our specific space and time in 2018. And what we saw in the struggles we felt as professional fundraisers was that technology came out there and it got on the scenes and you had ability to raise money and be a fundraiser digitally. But when you did, it was stuck in two worlds. It was stuck in a one-time payment to a group or cause that you supported, and it was stuck in a recurring donation of whatever amount to a cause or group you supported, which are great. But there were all these other tools out there that we saw as things that were needed that we were doing in analog that could really help people grow, especially in the grassroots nature of normal humans, not just rich and wealthy humans, to support missions that they supported. So one of the ways we saw that was the Spare Change Roundup. So we've added a Spare Change Roundup. So, literally, I had an organization and we were handing out mason jars with stickers on them and asking people to put pennies in jars. And I came back to Becky and I was like, I raised $19,000 in mason jars. And Becky was like,
Oh my
you're a
gosh.
dinosaur. It's called a spare change roundup. Bless your heart. And so she was like, we should build this like digitally. And so we have a one-time donation, a monthly donation. We have a spare change roundup. So you register a credit card, debit card, bank account to any organization that you're supporting that's on one of our platforms. And as you swipe and give, the more you spend, the more you give. The less you spend, the less you give. It naturally tailors to your budget. But because we love and respect our donors, every donor has their own dashboard. They can push pause. They can put a ceiling on their roundup of as little as $10 or as much as $50. They can add multipliers to their roundup, give 2, 3, 4, 5 times the amount.
That's amazing.
They are in complete control, and they don't have to do what we would see would happen with grassroots donors, where they find me in the grocery store and we're picking out apples in Kroger, and somebody's like, Emily, time out. I can't give a monthly donation anymore to that organization because I have cancer or my partner lost their job. Like there's no more of that. They have control of their own donations. They have control of their own giving. They have their own power. Then the other thing we did that makes us unique is we created the ability for volunteers to really be super volunteers, to be the Claire Browns of the world, where they can take control and lead, just like Claire Brown. They can channel their inner Claire if they're able to, because there aren't many Claires in the world, but they can aspire to be such. And they can create their own donor links, and they can go out, and instead of coming and finding Becky, the fundraiser for that organization, Claire, you have your own link. Instead of you using your own link and not knowing who's giving where, you have and calling Becky to say, hey, Becky, did Emily give the $250 she promised she would give to Access Schools or to Ozark Mission Project or whatever group you're supporting on Smart Change? Instead, Claire has her own dashboard where she can see if Emily gave. And you can call me and call me out when I didn't fulfill my pledge to you. which I love that you would. And I would too. And Becky would too, right? Like if you're a volunteer and you're a leader and you're all in, you're all in. So not only do volunteers have the ability to like raise their own funds, but say Claire, Emily, and Becky were on a board together and we were raising money for the new PowerWomen Foundation or whatever's happening in the world. We as board members would each have our own links and be able to compete against one another.
Oh, nice.
Bring in the most donations with a little fun accountability leaderboard. Where you can compete and we can say like, okay, Claire brought in $1 million, but Emily brought in 1 million donors. Like what's happening where, right? So we're just taking all I've rambled, I'm sorry. We're taking all the things that we used to do in analog and we brought them digital and made them scalable. So organizations can build that big tent. They can bring in everybody who wants to be there and they can grow and fulfill their missions.
Well, that's great. So when are we going to dinner? What else are we doing? Because that summed it all up. No, I'm just teasing. but seriously, I mean, it is the most transformational way for fundraising, for giving, and for helping and growing the nonprofit sector of our world. It really, really is. It is really in the most incredible way to change our world in every way. I mean, I can't help but just say that over and over. I love it. I love the play on words for it. I think it's great. I just do. It tickles me. I don't know whose brilliant idea that was, but it's great.
Becky. That was all Becky.
No, I don't know. I don't think it was. I don't know. It's
any clever plan words was all Becky.
I'll tell you, one of my favorite, a mentor of mine from a long time ago, Millie Ward, who I'm sure you know at Stoneward, she always said a good idea doesn't care who had it. So I love that. I keep it in my back pocket.
That's so good. Well, and so speak on that a little bit, Becky. What is y'all's background? Where did you come from? I mean, this didn't just spring up from, y'all being moms at a soccer game. I know better than that. So tell us
Well,
really who you are. I mean, I know
not too
you are
far.
both soccer moms. Yes, I
Yeah.
get that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say not too far off from that.
Yeah.
Actually. Yeah, no, Emily and I both just spent years fundraising. She was in, all over the world, all over the country, doing it in different places. And I was pretty much here in Little Rock. Just doing a lot of fundraising and comms for different organizations. And then, our paths crossed. And the first time I met Emily, I have lots of stories about the first time I met her because she's just a firecracker, and she just is like, her energy is so incredible. And you're like, holy crap, this woman is going to she's going to do whatever she wants to do.
That's right. And she does.
And she does. Yeah. And so it was really fun, whenever I got to meet her, and we were talking about fundraising. And so I think it's really interesting because our friendship really came after we started working together. Right. And so I think both of us saw in each other just kind of a kindred spirit in terms of wanting to do things differently, wanting to push further, getting used to sticking your neck out. You don't stick your neck out, you don't get anywhere. So, and it's been really lovely to have her as a partner to help. It's a lot easier whenever you're like, no, you can do it. You got somebody there alongside all the way. So really, really just that. And, once we sort of talked about the pennies in the mason jars, and started looking at how to build this thing, we talked to a couple of different folks, and eventually we got to somebody who was like, this is actually this is a thing, and y'all should do it. Y'all are passionate about it. You've got a vision. You know how to do this. Just go do it, And so we did, and we figured it out, and it's been a lot of ups and downs along the way, as I'm sure you can imagine. It is anybody building something would probably say that, but hugely rewarding in so many ways.
Yeah. I can't imagine. I mean, you truly get to see God work every day in everybody, in all different sectors, in all different lives.
Well, and it's also interesting. One thing that is maybe my favorite thing is that we are lucky enough to work with people who I think we see have felt a calling to do something. If it's, Morgan Nick Foundation or Mamie's Poppy Plates or, all kinds of organizations like that, right? It's something happened. They're called to lead. Maybe they haven't ever run a nonprofit before. Maybe they're going to hire people who might not have ever been fundraisers before. So our goal is really to build tools that make it easier for them to get that ground support up and running. And it's really amazing to get to work with folks like that.
Isn't it? It's incredible. It is so rewarding always to work with heart servant leadership. Boy, if our world were only filled with heart servant leadership, what change would we be able to make, really? I mean, so I love the fact that that's what you're fueling. That's what you're funding. And that's who is behind this in every single way. It's such a good thing. It is really such a great thing. And so, where do people find this? How do they get involved? If I have a foundation, if I have a nonprofit that, is fixing to come out or, whatever, just saying. So what would I do? Like, how would I sign my foundation or nonprofit up for Smart Change?
So sure, you could go straight to smartchange.app.app, smartchange.app. But most importantly, you can contact Claire. He'll give you my direct email address.
I sure will. Yes.
And I throw that out there, because we really live and die by customer success. It's not customer service, it's customer success. So the thing that we do differently is, of course, we want people just to go straight to our site. We want them to sign up. It takes approximately 5 minutes to sign up. If you have your bank account and your business organization, it's all at your fingertips. It takes 5 minutes, 12-hour hold while we do our due diligence, do our business thing. But then once you sign up, we're contacting you and we're saying, hey, who are you? Welcome. Thanks for being part of the team. We give you a demo of our tools. If you need a board training, we'll do a board training with you. We're going to lean in heavy because if you made it past our 12-hour hold and our due diligence, you're mission-minded, you're there for it, and we're here for you.
Yeah.
And so we're really passionate about that. We've been thrilled that we're Arkansas-based. Our employees are Arkansas-based, and we love, and we're going to keep it that way as long as we can, probably forever, because I'm probably just going to die here. I mean,
Stop.
but I'm proud to, because Arkansas is a lovely home. But no, you go to smartchange.app, you sign up, you're going to hear from us. We're going to help you. And then if you don't need our help, cool. Go use the tools, do what you need to do. We did the training. We showed you what was there. But otherwise, we do monthly webinars called Fundraising First, where we just talk about what's top of mind for that month. Because, fundraising is seasonal. It has its ebbs and its flows, its ups and its downs. So if it's getting near end of quarter, we talk about how to do end of quarter pushes. It's getting near Giving Tuesday, we talk about Giving Tuesday. It's getting towards end of the year, we talk about that tax giving, right? Yeah. If it's getting near April, which is a terrible time for nonprofits because everybody's paying their taxes, we talk about that, like how to lean into that. If you have customer success stories, we talk about how to amplify voices. We're just sharing I won't say what our combined years of experience was. I'll just own my own 19 years. But we share, I look like this because it's earned, right? It's an earned story on my face. And so we share like the past because it leads to the present, and we lean in heavy on ideas and innovation. The beautiful thing about Becky, besides being a brilliant comms person, is she is so innovative and so top of the game on what's new and next for tech that we have 3 years worth of ideas to implement. And so those Fundraising First are both tried and true practices for what works well if you need it. So if you're a storied fundraiser and you don't need it, great, send your staff. Or if you're a storied fundraiser and you have voices to lend, we welcome your voice. This is the place to talk together. But also it's a moment for Becky to be like, hey, I had 50 ideas this month and they all came to life. Here they are, right? Yeah. And she was brilliant. And even it's little things like one of my favorite things we did, and this sounds so silly to most people who aren't in the fundraising space, but when Becky created our fundraising event form, where you create a template for an event, she added a location feature. And I know everybody's like, why wouldn't you put an address on an event? But to put a map embedded in an invite so people know precisely where something is happening is just like solves half the world's problems of things that happen day of for a fundraiser. Yeah. So it's just little attentions to detail that only comes with experience, right?
Yeah.
So that's the other thing. So you sign up, you hear from us, you join as much as you want. If you don't want us, great, go live your life. We're just here when you need us. If you want help and support, we're here for all the support you want. And I think that's kind of the beautiful thing about Smart Change is a lot of companies say they're mission driven, and we are driven by the mission.
That's huge. You're driven by the mission of so many. And
so many.
Yeah. And so is there a fee that comes along with this?
Free.
Oh, wow.
Free to sign up. No monthly expense. It is a processing fee. And right now for one time a monthly, that is a conversation we have. And for Roundup, we are well below industry standards. So we'll talk to every client one-on-one about those fees and what happens. And that's it. It's just a processing fee. And the beautiful thing, we have a cover the fee feature for all donations. So Becky, the stat right now is between 80 and 85%.
Yeah, it's like 85% of all fees are being covered by donors. It's so awesome because it's so exciting because number one, it's lovely to see, donors chipping in more so that people can, so that organizations can, have 100% of those dollars to use as they need to. But, it's also something that for smaller nonprofits, it's a feature that is not widely available to folks who need. I'm going to back up. Let me restate this.
Okay.
One thing that we saw and that we see all the time is a lot of smaller nonprofits using PayPal and Venmo.
Right.
Those are great tools. Love them. However, they don't have things like cover the fee. They don't have things like CRMs. They don't have marketing forms, that kind of thing, right? So whenever we're able to say, look, we have all of this stuff and it's actually going to cost you less than Venmo or PayPal, it's awesome. Like that feels really, really good, because they're like, oh my gosh, I didn't know that this was, that doable. I could do this, Yeah. And they get the money way faster than with the other platforms, because we have a direct connection with their bank account. So we can just deposit the funds right in there. So they don't have to wait 45 days or whatever else. It's just about speed and efficiency and some of those little things that really, nonprofits, that need to be tailored to nonprofits to make it work right. So,
I know you're in Arkansas, but are you only working with nonprofits in Arkansas?
Oh, no. Well, for Smart Change just launched 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And so right now it is in Arkansas and Tennessee.
Okay.
We have 4 organizations outside the state that are signing up soon. GoodChange is in 19 states.
Yeah.
It's been around for a year and a half. And so we are very much focused on expanding Smart Change to wherever it's needed. It's one of those things where we are very much about sales and getting out there and letting ourselves be known. But at the same time, one of our biggest selling points is, unlike a bunch of fundraising platforms, we are happy to run in tandem of existing programs. My cheeky way of saying it is, we're not the jealous type. Like we're business. I mean, my whole mantra, I look in the mirror every morning and I tell myself that my whole goal is to be 9 people's favorite thing, not 100 people's 9th favorite thing.
Yes.
That's it. And so when we get out there and we start talking to humans, we just say who we are, and we let them know that our services are available, that we're here for them, and that, if they have something existing that's working, great. Have you tried the Spare Change Roundup? Have you tried to get that weekly donation? Right. Have you tried to get that tailored donation where you're not sending an email to a person asking for support of your organization, and some human is reading that at a stoplight going, can I afford $50 a month?
Right.
Instead, you're saying, hey, sign up here. The more you spend, the more you give. The less you spend, the less you give. So if you just won the lottery and you're spending fat, then you're giving well too. But if it's end of month, end of paycheck, like we all live, and you're spending less, then you're giving less. It naturally tailors and flows to what your natural habits are, without you having to decide, can I afford $100 a month? Can I afford $250 a month? It's do I have a heart to give? Do I have the capacity to give a little bit? Then yes, great. And if you don't, you sign in and push pause.
Do you know, I talked with somebody, I forgot to tell you this, Emily, you're going to actually love this. I talked to somebody last week who said, she was talking about her roundup, and she said, well, she said if she goes to the store and it's like $11.98, then she'll like find something that's a dime, so that they round up, so that they're rounding up as much as possible every time. And I'm like, you don't have to do that. But that's fun for her. So she thinks it's like an added layer of a little bit of gamification, maybe. I don't know, but it's how she's thinking about it. She's always thinking about the organizations that she's donating to, which was one thing that we really wanted big time with this. We wanted people to be constantly thinking about the organizations they're tied to. So I thought, well, that That was a success story with that.
Yeah.
And it was also really funny to think of her adding a little piece of gum to her cart or something.
Well, it makes every
love that.
purchase has a purpose. Every
Mhm.
purchase
Yeah.
has a purpose. And so
Thank you.
so
Tagline.
every purchase
Becky's
has a
like making a note.
purpose.
I'm literally writing it down.
I
Claire's
mean,
like, I just trademarked it.
yeah, that's copywritten, Becky. No, I'm teasing.
You get royalties. We'll give you royalties.
You can round that up, honey.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, totally. I mean, so yeah, every purchase has a purpose. And so consequently, everything's always on sale.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love it.
One of our very first Roundup users, because people say all the time, "Oh, this is great for young people." One of our very first Roundup users is an octogenarian, and so having someone in their 80s give a Roundup is really fun, especially because this individual, she's on a fixed income, and so the way the Roundup works, it doesn't round up until you hit $5 in spare change, and so she hits $5 in spare change every other week because she's on that much of a fixed income. But she is so proud to give her $6.78 or whatever it is every 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And it's more than she thought she could do.
Yeah.
And then one of our other very first beta testers, I mean, I love this human. I wish I could say her name right now, but I won't. She signed up November 2022, Becky. I mean, we were in beta of all beta. I mean, it was like early testing. And she gave to this one organization, and she gave $100 a year because that's all she thought she could afford. So she did her Roundup, and she never noticed it. It never hurt. It was just something that happened. She said it was like Netflix. You just set it and forgot it. So it's kind of the opposite of the purchase with a purpose. I mean, she just said it and it happened, and it was never big enough that it scared her, and it just happened because the average is $8 a week. So the average for Roundup is $8 a week. So she said it and she forgot it. End of the year, she gave $220.
Wow.
So she went ahead and she just rounded up to $250. She just wrote that last little check, and she was like, "That's more than I've ever given, and it's more than I thought I could," and it just happened. And so those are the stories I love to hear because she was so proud of herself.
Yeah.
Because she expanded what she thought she could do. And there's no doubt that organization benefited from 150% ROI on her regular contributions.
Yeah.
So it's fun to see.
It is. And I think it's great for teaching our kids. I really do.
Yeah.
I mean, giving them and having, teaching them with budgets and saying, yes, and here's your debit card that goes with your checking account. And here's what you're also going to do along with it to teach you about giving and servanthood and stewardship. And I think that's a huge parenting lesson and component that we really need to have them be smart with their change in the beginning. And to say, this is out there, research your cause, and then we're going to donate our time and talent. And this is part of that. Giving our gifts. And then teaching them that you won't miss it.
No. In fact, you're going to be better for it.
That's right.
It's not even that you won't miss it. It's that you're going to be proud of yourself at the end of it. So one of the first organizations that signed up for Smart Change is called Ozark Mission Project.
Yep.
I'm giving them a special shout out. Bailey Faulkner is an amazing leader.
Yes, she is.
Ozark Mission Project is actually something I did as a kid, as my kids say, way back in the 1900s.
Yep. I send my kids now.
Yeah, my kids go now. And we're working now to make it to where kids who sign up for camp, because their camp for the week is one of the cheapest camp experiences you can have. And it's one of the best experiences you can have because for those of you who don't know about Ozark Mission Project, kids go to a designated campsite. It's typically they sleep on a gym floor in a sleeping bag, and they spend 5 days in service going out into the community and building wheelchair ramps and porches, repairing roofs, painting houses, doing exterior work to a home that otherwise people couldn't afford. And they have all these wonderful stories about homebound people who can't make it to the doctor's office without firefighter assistance to get out of their home because they have steps and they're in a wheelchair or some way incapacitated to get out of the house. And so they do all these amazing things. But one of the things we're talking about doing with them, and I hope I'm not letting the cat out of the bag here. Claire, you may need to edit it if Bailey calls me and says we need to edit this part. But one of the things we're talking about doing is enabling the children to go out and raise funds for their own tuition for that week. So they have the ability to like ask grandparents, aunts and uncles, hey, would you chip in a roundup? Hey, would you chip in $10 a month to help me pay for my camp experience?
Nice.
And help me pay for some of the overhead that comes with building a wheelchair ramp for the week.
I love that.
We're really excited. There's so many amazing organizations, like Becky said, Morgan Nick Foundation, Access Schools, Holy Souls. I mean, there's a huge variety. So, and we're open to anybody else who needs a little help in any way.
Yeah. Yeah. Because you are some great women and you are changing the world. Literally. It is such a good change.
Well, you are too. Look at the community that you have built.
Amazing.
With PowerWomen is amazing. It's a wonderful space. So many people come there, bare their souls, and and we all help each other there.
We do.
And it's wonderful.
Thank you. Yeah. And I met Emily for the first time when that first took off. And she was like, what do you want to do? Do you want to make a business plan? I was like, what's that? And here we are. I learned real quick what a business plan was.
Well, that's what we do. That's what you do.
Yeah, because we have franchised now and we will be in 3 more markets by this time next year. And we are in process of creating a foundation to fund women in many different ways. And that is soon to come. So I can't wait to partner with y'all as well. Thank you for all you're doing. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for living in that heart servant space and empowering others through that. And it is so good. And thank you for changing the world. I love you both.
We love you. Thank you for being you. We appreciate you.
Thank you so much for listening. If you like the show, please rate and review on iTunes and check out our website, thepowerwomen.org.